gonna do this? Let's do it. Okay. So where we go? Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, or in the case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Spartan, and I would like to talk to you about one thing. Well, unless you're kind of buggered with it. So here we go. Now, if you're talking about saving the environment, or in the specific case, achieving zero waste life, I have to be honest that I'm not really avid on that area. In fact, I did a few things that harm the environment, and I'm not really proud of that. So therefore, I tend to do steps, a little baby steps to achieve simplicity and zero waste life. Like I said it before, I'm not a huge player. Therefore, things that I'd like to show you might not be a big stuff, you know. It might seem simple and downright a little bit, not impactful. But I hope it can convince you the way it convinced me to care for the sake of our descendants' future, if I decided to have one. In Bahasa Indonesia, there is a saying, cinta tidak harus memiliki. This is a good enough say to convince me that I do not necessarily need to have everything, only the things that seems essential. And if I cannot live without it, I don't necessarily require having it as my property. For instance, internet. As a college student, I deal with lots of my works with the internet. I did it online, therefore I simply cannot learn without it. So, it might be a good thing for me to have a personal wireless fiber in the house, but consider it's not really simple, and the fact that I work outside a lot, it's ineffective and inefficient, and it's just more burden to the earth. Because think of this, to have internet, you require more than just cable. You need to have a router, you need to have this kind of cable, you need to have the receiver, you need to have this, you need to have that. And considering you're not gonna use it, it's just gonna be something that lying around without any purpose. And if you decide to throw them, they are made out of plastic, which we know that takes more than 1,000 years to degrade. Plus, having internet in the house just makes me lazy. So without it, and considering there's also lots of free Wi-Fi outside there, well, I cut back so many free time to be wasted. You know that sometimes we threw something because it is broken, right? And replace it with a new one. For example, your relationship. Jokes aside, when we do that, it's just another 1 plus on the rubbish, right? Because we do. And you all people knew that it only takes one minor problem to exaggerate whole things. Don't believe me? Take an example from my bike. See that thing? Flat tire, you can't run. Broken light, no nights out. Missing screw on the engine, I have to push all the way to get somewhere. Now you might ask, well, theoretically speaking, I might have been able to buy a new one if I stopped spending all my money on fixing the old one. But if I bought a new one, then I just threw out the old one, and that would just be another one up to the garbage. Like, for example, if I demand a new one, that means they have to make another one. That means they take from the resource again, and that whole thing just, making me confused. So why bother if you can just pick one problem and then fix it, right? And this goes same with everything else that I use. My phone is almost 3 years old now. I have plenty of patched pieces of clothing that I still wear, and my helmet is the oldest thing that I own. It's from my elementary year, and it's working properly. See? I'm just lucky that I haven't been caught by the police right now, because this is way too old. Well, but I do know that there is nothing that will pass through eternity. At one point, things will be broken, so broken that it no longer has a purpose. Or is it? Waste garbage, rubbish, or trash, whatever you want to call it, we simply determine them as something that we don't use anymore, something that doesn't have any purpose, right? Now, this might be correct, but however, if you think it twice, there's no such thing as without purpose. There's only two things in this world. One, there may be things that we have no longer purpose of using it. The purpose of the thing doesn't serve us anymore, or maybe it has a different purpose at a time. Now, it doesn't make sense, but let me tell you, when my neat condition shoes doesn't fit my enormous toe anymore, it doesn't serve the purpose that it has used to be, but it's still in good condition, and it serves someone else's purpose. Someone else needed that shoes, therefore, I give it away. Now, this thing goes both ways, because one man's trash is another man's karma. I have what Javanese people used to say lungsuran, or is it second-hand stuff, and because things serve the purpose that I need, it's no longer a trash. Okay, let's Ladies and gentlemen, achieving zero waste life could probably be overwhelming for some of us. All right, I get it. I learned from experience, but considering the condition of the world right now, it is something that we need to do and act immediately. If it's hard, make it easy. Because the world isn't sunshine and rainbow all the time. It's been filled with trash, debris, something that we are self-responsible for. We need to understand that everything that we do, or in this case, everything that we threw, will eventually come back to us. Baby steps isn't something that is shameful. In fact, it is something that I recommend for you to do, because little by little you will eventually cope with the inconvenience and things will eventually get better. Because unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy a zero waste lifestyle.